Hey, Star Fam! How are you guys? How are you guys? Hey, Yaprides, how are you? Hey, huh? That's how. What are you talking about? That's how I talk to my Star Fam. Don't be jealous. Hey, Tadar. Hey, Lovey. Says Stephanie is in the house, aka Lovely. How are you? Hey, Anansi. Said, hey, y'all, can I just say, if I were Chris and Candace, I would make season 7 my last season because none of these women, including Choose Me Wendy, are her friends. Sigh, yeah. I do think that Wendy is her friend though, but I do think that she was trying to be an emotional butler and to appeal to the audience who doesn't quite agree with the colorism debate. So that's what it gave me. So I still have hope for Wendy. Anansi also said that Mr. Congeniality Chris should have been mute after Giselle's weak A apology. Yeah, quite possibly. Miss GG88 said, I haven't watched one episode this season or last, but I'm here for Nikki's reviews. Thank you so much. Hey, love like you are. Hey, Tracy. Tracy said, I'm never okay with any alabaster man raising his voice at a Black woman, even if that woman is Gizzard. Yeah, I will say this, right? I get that he was absolutely upset. I feel like the optics just wasn't a good look, but I understood. Hey, Manty, how are you? Love Like You Are said, genuinely think this may be the last time watching Potomac because the gaslighting is insane. Well, listen, if we can't fix colorism in the Black community, there's no way they're going to fix it on the Real Housewives of Potomac where they get paid to be awful. Like, that's not going to happen. Hey, Adriana. Hey, she got 2 kids. Z said, yeah, I didn't watch it all because the tone on Twitter told me I would be disgusted. Yeah, it was a hard watch. It was a hard watch. Agreed. Coos Girly said, hey, Nikki and Star fam, I have a class, so I'll be part of the replay gang, but I'm excited to watch this recap. Thank you, Coos Girly. Jazzy said, I don't know why Wendy must always be the sacrificial lamb. Karen could have backed Candace up as well. Very, very true. Guys, what I think what's happening here is the same thing that happens with people who do not speak up on racism or racist things that are happening because they want to protect their money, their brand, their assets. So I think people said as much as they could, even though they probably secretly agree more with Candace than they appear to show on the show. But I also think that this is a TV show and people are, trying to be very aware of how they look to the masses. CM said, finally, YouTube alerted me before the end or two days later. Yeah, I told you, they don't even alert me, and this is my channel. I still haven't gotten an alert. Still haven't gotten it. Hey, Baka. Me too, Tracy. This was giving me the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 10. Like just not fun anymore. Hey, Pretty Kitty. Pretty Kitty said, hey, Star fam, haven't caught a live in a while. Could not wait. Thank you for being here. Hey, Priscilla. Hey, Marvina, you're right on time. Hey, Simply Simone said, thank God the season is finally over. Everybody is saying this. Everybody is saying this. I need to take a break from the Coles Cash Karen clan. Yes. Yes. Hey, Asatu. Hey, Shonda. Hey, Ryan. Hey, Lil Whitney. Lil Whitney says, OMG, I thought it was late and turns out I'm right on time. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. CM said, Candace was right, and I swear these folks claiming reverse colorism are lost or being willfully obtuse. Hey, Cordelia. Thank you for being here. Hey, is it Kesha or Keisha? Hey, said, hey, everyone. Hope everyone is doing good. Hey, Mel, how are you? NC said, can't wait to hear your thoughts on this, Nikki. I've been out here in these streets getting in arguments defending Candace, the Prince and family. Me too. I'm exhausted. The Nicholas Express said, listening while I'm at work, but they don't pay the fitting room attention. Thank you for being here, Nicholas. Hey, Asian Eeyore TV, what's up? Hey, Pink Petals. Carmen said, wow, Nikki, you've been so early. I'm trying my best. I'm telling you, guys, late night lives are very easy for me. it's these afternoon ones because there's always something happening. There's always a call. There's always a meet. Like something is always happening in the afternoon. So when I can get on, I get on. Even today, it was a little tough to get on at the right time, but I got here as early as I could. Asatu said, Chris is such a simp. What a fool for accepting her apology and contradicting his wife in front of these evil females. I actually think that he did that for business sake, right? I think that he also feels like it's just easier to move on because they're probably going to stay on the show. It's a smart business move. So I honestly think that he just did that to move along. Because at the end of the day, let's be quite honest with you, we're harboring on Robin for keeping the beef going that she had with Wendy last season. You know, everybody's team Candiace right now, but if she harbors on it next season and like doesn't let up, people are going to get tired of that too, because at the end of the day, this is a TV show and you want to be entertained. You don't want to be drained with stuff that happened last season, even if it is real life. Mara said, I hated it when Chris was going against Candiace in front of the ladies. Do it in the dressing room. Yeah, I'm telling you, Candiace, Jennifer Aiden on the Real Housewives of New Jersey, and is that it? There's one more housewife, Dr. Nicole. I feel like these two have a very similar experience on the show. And yes, there is a difference in skin tone and culture and things of that nature. So those other things come into play. But these women are constantly harbored on with very little, aside from Dr. Nicole. I love her. Her fiance fights for her. But I feel like these three women experience the same thing on their shows. One with being the youngest, one with being part of the newer crew. Another with the ladies like just tearing them down and not having anybody on the show to back them up. Thank God Dr. Nicole got her fiance. Outside of that, everybody comes after that woman, and she's right. She's right. I agree. Like Jennifer Aiden, Dr. Nicole, and Candace, I agree with them every season. But they're, unfortunately for them, they're in a cast of women who continue to gaslight them and make them seem like what they are seeing and what they are speaking on is just not happening. When we're all watching it and we're just like, yeah, this is happening. You're not crazy, but we're not on the show with them. So I feel so bad when they don't have that backup with them in the room. But yeah, I wish that he would have not accepted that apology, but I did understand why he did it. Thank you so much, Shonda, for the super chat. Shonda said, love you, Nikki. I'll be in LA for my birthday next week. Yes, please like the video, y'all. Yes, Shonda, happy birthday. Oh, you're going to do it big in LA. You know what? You'll have a great time. I was going to say check the weather because this is our winter, so you just never know out here, but you're going to have a great time. So Steph said, this show is so draining. The majority of them, thank you, Shonda, for the super chat. So Steph said, this show is so draining. The majority of them don't have the range to discuss colorism, and Candace did not call her a white woman. She said her proximity to whiteness, the definition of colorism. Duh. But yeah, everybody likes to play dumb and victim. It works. Everybody does that because you will be more successful playing victim with somebody darker than you will with somebody like Robin. So it was very easy for them all to do that. And it was very easy for everybody to agree because tell us all the time, right? It's just how it goes. AV Bro said Chris stood his ground and Candace ate. Giselle was astonished and speechless. This was giving me the last reunion, I think, with Monique. She had Giselle stunned, and Giselle was stunned this reunion. Sophie Simone said, what I got was Wendy trying to come to bat for Candace because she knew they were outnumbered. A lot of people are saying that, and I hope that is what she was actually doing. A lot of people are saying that Wendy said that to give Candace the opportunity to clear up what she said. But I'm just like, she said what she said, and everybody understood what she said. I felt like her needing to clear it up, in my opinion, was like colorism right there. Because why does she have to clear it up? I think the clearing up meant say it in a way that the people who are oppressing you won't feel some sort of way, won't feel as called out. And I hate that because Black people, we do not tolerate that with non-Black people. So why should our people tolerate it with each other? But I hope that that's what Wendy was doing. Vaka said, "Hey, Nikki, is Gizzy really white adjacent because she has green eyes? Light skinned people in the Black community are, right? That's just how it is. Like light skinned people and men, straight men, have privilege within the Black community and outside, right? Those of us who are more affected and those of us who have the full Black experience 24/7 of the day, inside and outside of the community, are dark skinned Black women and Black people who are part of the LGBTQ community. We never get a day off, right? But men and light skinned people within the Black community get a day off in the community from the racism and oppression that we deal outside of the community. But us, we don't get a day off. Marvina said, "This colorism crap is terrible. I love my skin, but growing up, they scrubbed me with a lava soap, trying to get my knees and knuckles lightened, saying I look dirty." Well, I don't look sickly. I'm sorry that that happened to you, Marvina. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. You didn't, nobody deserves that. I'm sorry, sis. AI said, "Potomac gotta go. Maybe reboot it in a few years." I actually do think it's a great show, and I think the cast works well together, even Lai and Mia. I just wish they would get back to the fun. That is where they shine, the fun. I remember their last fun season was when the Grand Dame and her wig was shifting and she was trying to get that wig on right. That was one of their last fun moments. I have to be honest. Monique, when Monique assaulted Candiace, that just changed the trajectory for the Real Housewives of Potomac. I think this is like the same incident with Phaedra and the allegations against Candy. It changed the trajectory of that show. It was no longer fun to watch anymore. It was just watching seasons of people doing just vicious get backs at each other. And I think that is what Potomac has become. I think this incident with Candace and Monique has tarnished what this show used to be. And after they came a long way from what it was built on, which was colorism. Like a lot of people do not know that colorism was the first housewife on the Real Housewives of Potomac. Like if you go back and watch the first seasons, if they haven't scrubbed it, they were talking about how certain ladies in the group have to pass the paper bag test. Like they were talking about that. They were the Jack and Jill Blacks, and they were talking about how certain Blacks were not allowed in these spaces and in this community, and they were okay with it. Like that is what this show was built on. And I think now that we have, two dark-skinned females who are talking about, two dark-skinned women on the show who are talking about their experience, it's taking us back to the ugliness that the show was built off of. But they were able to get away from that. And we had some really fun seasons with them. But for some reason, that violence that Monique brought to the show, and that, in that moment of just frustration, just really, in my opinion, just tarnished the show. They got to get back. They got to get back from that. And I don't know how they'll do it. I mean, I wouldn't want the show to do a reboot because I actually do like the cast. I think they have the potential to, get back to the fun. But I do not know. Asatu said, "So I heard Darby wants to play like she acknowledges her privilege, but acts outraged when Candace calls turkey neck on her privilege. What a joke." That just lets us know that she doesn't understand. She was just saying that to get away from the colorism allegations or care. Priscilla said, "I just need transparency, sisterhood, and yes, I just need transparency, sisterhood, and light shade. But I guess that is too much to ask. We've been asking that from the Real Housewives of Atlanta since season 10. Like, I just do not know, like, how much do we have to ask for this for them to actually get it? Hey, IA. Hey, I am Rachel. Dayla said, "I found it interesting that Giselle had all that energy for Chris Samuels, who was talking calmly, but wasn't asking for security for Chris Bassett, who aggressively yelled at her because, you don't want to go too far with an actual white person on the show, right? Because you know that you always got to play to the fan base. So listen, they're very smart. They're very calculated. There's a reason why she didn't call for security." Pretty Kitty said, "This season was exhausting. I do not even want to watch Real Housewives of Potomac anymore. I'm sad to say it. I think it was just a lot for a lot of people." Hey, Disco Boots. How are you? Danny said, I'm in the room. I'm so annoyed with the reverse colorism claims. Imagine how tired we are. Miss Yinka said, hey, everyone, glad to catch this live. Can't wait to get into it. Hey, Yinka. Hey, Kai. Said, I made a star live. Hello, fam. Hello. Simply Simone said, on a lighter note, my friend was the interviewer that went viral. Oh, really? For the Creed 3 press run, and the sister's been cutting up all weekend. Listen, at the end of the day, no matter who black men choose to be with, they level behind. There's no Jonathan and Michael cannot deny that they was looking. There's no way. There's no way. And good for her. Good for her. Vodka said they are going to have to just put up with Gizzy. I heard that she is protected over there and will not be removed or fired. She's good TV. At the end of the day, this was one of her worst seasons because this accusation that she applied to Chris was just awful. And I get that she was doing it to protect her friend who was going through something extremely heartbreaking. But at the end of the day, this storyline, when she had her own storyline of her medical issues, it was just not a smart move on her part. And I think she learned. Hopefully she'll deliver a better performance next season. Alex said, hey, everyone, catching this live at the end of a workday. Perfect timing. Yes. Asatu said, I hope she completely ignores Giselle from now on. Giselle needs to be ostracized. I don't care. I feel like if the network gets involved, they're all going to come back and bury the hatchet. They're probably on the first episode have a bury the hatchet scene, and everybody will start fresh and anew. And if that does happen, the fan base, do not get mad if these ladies move on. They have to give us a performance that we want to watch. So, just look out for that. She didn't lose my support. I just didn't like that moment. George said, I think it's time for Chris to support Candace as a mute husband off the side, not so much in front of the camera. I have felt that way for years about all of the husbands. I feel like the husbands on all of these housewife shows are just given too much camera time, and they should be, we should only see the husbands in like a flashback episode, right? Or of something that was like filmed during the weekend that, they just decided to not put in the show. I feel like the husbands have too much on the voice on this show, and it's about the housewives. I just hate how they're starting to take over and get a bigger role. They need to diminish their role completely. I said, I will wait until Bravo announces the cast of the next season before giving up on Potomac. But I want the fun put back into Potomac like Miami. Absolutely. Miami is a stellar show. It is unfortunate that they have not put it on Bravo earlier. I get that they want to start on Peacock. I'm like, yeah, put it on Peacock on Wednesday and then, let everybody on Bravo watch it on Thursday. I think that will be, a smart move. But waiting weeks to put such a great show on Bravo, it's foolish. Missy B, thank you so much for the Cash App. Missy B said love your shirt. Thank you so much. Thank you. The shirt that I'm wearing is it says hashtag cancel colorism, and this is from an event that I went to with a panel on colorism in the entertainment industry, and I went there with Bill Duke and a few of the creators from Dark Girls. It was a documentary that I was in years and years and years ago when my metabolism was awesome, and I still hated it then. But I got this shirt, and I'm telling you, it's been so relevant since I was at that panel. OMG. Let me get a few more, and then we'll get into the review, because I want to get everybody, because we just have so many comments. So I'm trying to respect everybody and make sure I get you all before I get into the review. I Am Rachel said part 3 was so disappointing. Anyone else feels like they just skimmed through? And also, why is Andy not calling Giselle out? I feel like he doesn't watch the show. I think he does, but Giselle's a favorite because, let's be real, her and Karen outperform every season. This was Giselle's worst season, in my opinion, of watching this show. So I don't think she's going to get reprimanded much, and I don't think she's going to get cut because she had one poor season when she's been, a stellar performer in seasons prior. The Bombshell Blur said, I'm glad this season 1 reunion clip is circling where Ash called Jiz and Rob out on how they talk about race, but look the most European as everyone of everyone on the cast. Yes, because that is what that show was about. This is the thing that everybody's like, oh, let's get off of colorism on the Real Housewives of Potomac. It was about, the show was about colorism. That's how we got it. It was a show that was based off of colorism. They all talked about it. Remember when Katie was just, telling Robin that she can't have an opinion because she's a white woman? Like, that's what that show was about. That's why I'm just like, new fans, please watch from the beginning. You will have a huge understanding of this show. Momi said it doesn't matter which way that Candace would have made her proximity to whiteness statement. The ladies were not trying to hear it. Absolutely. They don't want to accept that there's colorism and that they benefit from it. That's the thing, because if they have to accept that there's colorism, then they have to acknowledge their privilege, and then we have to watch and see what they will and will not do. So it's better to gaslight me and act like something isn't something, like when conservatives called anything and everything black woke and just saying the N-word with the hard R. Like, it's easier to gaslight than to acknowledge the truth, because if you acknowledge what has actually happened, then there has to be change. And a lot of people don't like change, because if there is change, then some people who have had these privileges lose them. And a lot of people may say they want equality, but they don't. They just want to change hands or switch who's the oppressor. So such is life. Bianca said, facts, Nikki. I haven't even watched the reunion yet because I really want to hear your commentary first. I'm tired of the show. Glad it's done. I am exhausted. Yeah, it was a lot. Hey, give me shelter. How are you? How are you? Emma said, Gizzard's Neck and Robert are bullies big time and are selfish and self-centered. There you go. Rachel said, like I said on Twitter, this show will end up like Basketball Wives unless they let Giselle go. That is the only way the show will evolve. Would you guys be okay if Giselle evolved, even if it was just for the show? Sierra said, Real Housewives of Atlanta was giving fun shade and fun girl moments at the beginning of season 11, to be honest. They were. I will say that. I will say that. Hey, Nasby. Nasby said, I don't watch any housewife shows, but saw some retweets, especially from Nikki's Twitter, and have been trying to catch up. I'm watching old Nikki videos. Pause the one about the CNA, the CNM fight for this live. Oh, thank you, Nas. Ella said, yes, I love Pay Her Weight. She's in Atlanta, Nikki. Let's get a collab going. Absolutely. I would love that. I would love that. Momi said, I'm tapping out of viewing this show again. After the first season, I didn't watch again until the 6th season. And this current one, this season reaffirms why this show isn't worth my brain cells. Guys, listen, I watched season 1 and I was in for a few seasons after. But the reason why I did not watch consistently watch that show was because of the colorism conversations. Like, they're like, that's what I'm just like, people do not understand that what's happening right now is what this show used to be about. It's that this is happening in a time where it's just not okay anymore. Like, America's Next Top Model could not happen today. Could not happen today. But at the time that it happened, that was allowed. But today that show could never be made. Spice and Sauce said, child, nobody on stage, not even Candace, was equipped to have the colorism convo. I agree. Candace reads in defense of her white husband didn't resonate with me. Oh, Spice and Sauce is reading. Effie said, hi, Nikki. Please follow Sharonda from Pay Her Weight. You guys are both beauty queens, and I'd love it if you could collaborate. She's a YouTuber that everyone is talking about regarding the Creed interview. Okay, I'll absolutely look into it. Why not? After Me 22 said, the people in the chat that are policing Chris's reaction are bizarre to me. You don't get to go guns blazing and say inflammatory things regarding my character and get a Mr. Rogers reaction from me. Yeah, it's the same people, the same people say that about Candace, right? But unfortunately, nobody is ever on the side of the person that was attacked. For some reason, I don't know if it's an American thing. I don't know, but for some reason, Americans always have compassion for the one doing the attacking. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Amira said, this is off topic, but will you be reviewing Vanderpump Rules after all this mess? Yes, I'm currently catching up. And saying what I said about Chris, I will say, I'm not going to lie to you, the optics in whatever the situation was of him yelling at Giselle just did not look good, but I understood. Carmen said, I think Wendy was trying to protect Candace from the public. She thought the public would go in on Candace. I really hope that is the case. Let me get this super chat. Ali said, how did you feel about the Light Girls documentary? I side-eyed it really hard. I think they missed the mark. And I loved everybody involved in it, but I think they missed the mark, which is why I didn't get the same traction as Dark Girls. And Marie said, Wendy was assaulted by Mia with the drink and the person. Nobody gave a damn. Giselle feigns this damsel in distress and everyone runs to her defense. Why is that? Well, we all know. We all know. George said, when equality means giving up some privileges, it feels like punishment. That's why some aren't willing to even maintain a level playing field. Absolutely, because a lot of people know that without that privilege, they are nothing. Nothing. So there are people who fight to keep this privilege because you can't go toe to toe on the same level with a lot of people. So it's like, let me keep this leg up and fight for this leg up, because if this is taken away from me, I will have nothing, because I know that I'm not that good. I know that I'm not that great at what I do. I know I'm not the best at what I do. And I know with more competition, I would never be able to rise to the occasion. That's why. Love Like You Are said, I don't think Giselle will ever evolve. It's been ingrained in her. Her daddy's been getting rightfully dragged for some mess during the civil rights movement for what he said about a dark-skinned woman. Oh, so it's in the home. Taina said, someone being in an interracial relationship doesn't strip them of their right to speak on things affecting their community. I agree. Let me get these super chats. Asatu said, I bet they refuse Ashley from Love and Marriage DC, not because she is too broke as Robert was broke, but because she did not pass the brown paper bag test, and they already had Charisse as the token. Wait, was she supposed to be on that show? Hey, Effie, thank you for the super chat. Effie said, love how you say my name. LOL. Thank you for your reviews. This season was a mess, but you made it make sense. So thank you. You are so welcome, Effie. We're going to end right here with Nasby and then get into the recap review / panel on colorism. Nasby said, folks empathize with the oppressor's villains because, among other things, they want to be sided with when they do wrong. Ooh. Good perspective. They also usually aspire to the position of powerful perpetrators versus the victim. Very, very true. Great perspective, Nasby. What's going on with him? Ciao. See, this is the thing. I hope if I'm ever caught up in some mess and I don't get it right immediately, that people do not go looking at my bloodline, because, baby, you will find what you're looking for. I got a bloodline like Jesus Christ, girl. It's a mess. Helena said, Nikki, did the Dr. Wendy reunion look growing you? I know it was your favorite, but you were still kind of mad about it. I think she looks perfect, a mermaid. Well, see, this is the thing. I love the silhouette on her. The silhouette is great on her. I wish they would have stuck to one or maybe one color and an accent color. I think the beige and the cream being the main colors of that dress just did not work for her because of her skin tone. Beige and cream do not look, in my opinion, do not look the best on dark skin. If you're going to put those colors on dark skin, you need to just go stark white. We look great in bright colors. Any version of a color, dark skin people look great in the lighter, the brighter version. So that was my only thing. But the silhouette was great. She looked great in that silhouette. I just felt like the color combination, I get what they were trying to do, the water or whatever. The color combination was just not a great color combination for her. If you're going to do it, go brighter. Go brighter. Oh, Asatu said, yes, she actually, Love and Marriage DC, auditioned, but Bravo said that she was too broke. Oh, I believe it. 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 Thank you, Effie. Effie said you have a bloodline like the ancestors. We appreciate and respect you. I'm just letting you know right now, you're gonna find what you're looking for. Spice and Salt said interracial relationships is one thing. Being black in a relationship with a white while claiming other whites, while calling other whites for their privilege just doesn't land for me. I get it. I get it. Nikki, Sosa said, Nikki, I tagged you in the video with Giselle's daddy called a Congresswoman, Barbara Jordan, and Aunt Jemima. Oh, you did. You did. Ciao. Ciao, 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 ciao. Anyway, we're going to keep on talking, but I want to just talk about a few things, and then we will get into, we will end with the conversation about the final episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac. Let's talk about Jacqueline's receipts that did not land, and Andy was so disappointed. Andy was like, oh, that's it? Because he really thought that Jacqueline was going to bring it, and no shade. Jacqueline and I did too. Do I have a picture of Jacqueline? I don't. And you know who lied? Deborah. She said she got dressed up and everything, said that she was going to show her receipts at the reunion, and we did not see you. Now, are you going to lie and say that they cut you out? Is this Jacqueline? Yes. Are you going to lie, Deborah, and say that they cut you out? I feel like you were never invited and you were just doing all of that for attention. But, you know, we will see. Yeah, Jacqueline's receipts just didn't deliver, and Andy was just not for it. But this is the thing. I think that Jacqueline had more receipts. I think she still loves Mia, and I think she is a real friend to her. That's why she would not tell everything. She just said enough to clear her name, but I think she had a lot more. She's been best friends with her since they were 16 years old. She has a lot more, but I think she chose not to say what she really had because although they're no longer friends, she was a friend to her and she still loves her and wanted to protect her in that moment. Although Mia threw her completely under the bus for this Bravo check, because I feel like she had something. I feel like she had something, but she packed up her papers, she put everything away, and she even defended Mia when the ladies were just like, "Well, did you sleep with Gordon?" And she was like, "Well, no, you guys pretty much alluded to that." And even Giselle was like, "No, wait a minute. You played very coy with that when we asked you." And Jacqueline wouldn't say anything. She's just like, well, let me handle that. Like, she could have said a lot more, but I felt like she was holding back. I think she just said enough to clear her name, like about the whole Porsche thing. She was just like, I can afford my Porsche. Gordon did not help me in any kind of way. I let that play out because that is what Mia wanted me to do, because she wanted it to seem like she was richer than she really is, that she's so rich that she can trick on her best friend like that and get her best friend a Porsche. But she was just like, that is, I got that on my own. Mia did not help. I also think that close your leg to marry men comment, like I said before, I think they were both good besties, but I think they both had a good time girl moment and got out of the game when they got a bit older. But I think they both have stories about, more stories than we are privy to about having relations with married men, securing the bag and getting certain things and tricking on older dudes for, certain things. I think they both have stories like that. But I think Jacqueline just chose not to say anything because Mia was ready to spill some stuff about her. So I think, one, she didn't say everything that she could have said because she, I think she still loves Mia. Although the friendship is done, I think she is still being a friend to her, even though she doesn't have to. But that's like a real friend. Because I feel like if you fall out with your friend and all of a sudden you just start saying all these things, these secrets and all these things that could destroy this person, I feel for me, I'm just like, you weren't a real friend in the first place. If you could so easily go there, I think the fact that she's holding back is because she was a real friend to her. And also she don't want any more of her business being put out there in the street. Smart woman, but Andy was disappointed with the receipts. He was like, you did all of that and that's all you had. Okay, thank you, Jacqueline. Like, he got her off the stage real quick because he was disappointed. He wanted her to go there like Mia was about to go there, but she's just not that kind of person, which is why she's not good for this show. And that is not a read. That is not a bad thing at all. Mia saying that she outed, Jacqueline about sleeping with married men because Jacqueline outed Gordon's impotence on the show. I want to say this, Mia. No, she did not. You just told us that Mr. G got a problem with little G. None of us knew that. Did you guys know that? I did not know that. I found out when Mia said it. I'm just like, I feel like you were probably doing something to try to defend to try to defend yourself in the manner, but you instead exposed your husband that you were trying to protect, because none of us thought I did not know that. I don't know if you guys did, but I did not know that. I just think that she was just making a quick comment to you because you said something nasty to her. So she was saying something nasty back, but I would have never put two and two together and say that that was about Gordon, because I did not know that he was impotent. You just told the world that. See, when you do all that lying, you just mess yourself up. You just mess yourself up. The segment with Charisse. Boring, yawning, lazy. Like, it's not, I will say, I really do not remember Charisse from the earlier season of Potomac. I do know that she was a part of the cast, right? I'm not saying that I don't remember her being on the show at all. I do. I just don't remember anything from her. She's not a memorable character. And then she comes on and it's just dry, yawning. It's so tired. There's nothing there. Then she admits that she said those things about Karen, that Karen was, performing extremely well at glory holes and local restaurant bathrooms. She admits that was just a lie because she was saying it because she was upset. And then there's nothing else. I will say Andy was very happy about casting her on the show. He was just like, I want to put this out here. We wanted her back. He kept on saying that. So I don't know what relationship they have, but I was just really shocked that he went to bat for a casting like that, because he never does that. He never goes to bat for a casting, but he wanted to let the Grand Dame know that they wanted her back on the show for whatever reason. And again, this is like no shade to this woman. I'm just like, you're just not memorable. You're not memorable. The most that we remember of you is that you were fighting with Karen this season. And you were fighting with her when she did not want to fight with you. She was always walking away. You were always like, in every scene, you were saying something about Karen. And even Andy admitted that it did look like she was hired to be a takedown for Karen, because she only talked about Karen wherever we saw her. So it's just like, if you're being asked back to the show, I think that maybe it's because they think that you can bring something to it or you have something interesting, but we just didn't get that. I still don't know anything about her, at least from this season. Like, what was your contribution besides being very lazy, boring? Just so tiring. Even when they were in Miami, it was every time we cut to a scene of her, she's laying down looking like she's about to go to sleep. You were at work. Wake up. It did not do anything for me. And Andy, I don't understand that casting. You went to bat for that casting, but I don't understand what you saw, because I feel like we, the audience, didn't see what you saw to go to bat for a casting choice like this. Robin defends her decision to not invite Wendy, but ask somebody else to bring her children, and lies and says that she was not doing that. She was not trying to isolate Wendy, and that she did want her kids there. You absolutely did not want Wendy's children there, because there is no way that another Black woman is going to ask a Black woman or ask a Black woman's friend to bring the sister that she got an issue with to bring her kids and not her. You know exactly how that's going to go. No Black woman is going to say yes, especially with how Black women are about their children. Especially, we all know how Black mamas are. If you don't like me, then I know you don't like my kids, and I don't trust you with my children. So she knew that Wendy was never going to allow that, being a Black woman herself, no matter what Katie says, right? She writes Black on her census and on her applications. So in her filing for that trademark for Reasonably Shady, she wrote Black, right? So I just do not buy that she, in any way was trying to reconcile with Wendy or protect Wendy when she was having that fight with Mia. The bottom line is you don't like her because she said something about your relationship when you were going through it in your relationship, because now it all makes sense. Not really, but I get why she was harboring such disdain for Wendy now, because Wendy made that comment when Robin was going through it by being cheated on by Juan at that moment, when Wendy said, you wouldn't know anything about it because you don't have a husband that loves you. She said it right when the girl was going through it, so that stuck with her. It makes sense now after hearing everything, but still, that I'm saying the same thing about Candace. The fans are saying, oh, stay on Giselle's neck for next season. I'm telling y'all right now, you're going to get tired of that real quick. You're going to get tired of that real quick. These ladies need to learn how to move on. Because at the end of the day, this is for entertainment. This is for entertainment. I was surprised that Robin spoke on Juan's lawsuit with Coppin State. I was surprised. I felt like she did mention the lawyers, but I felt like she would probably say, oh, no, I can't really discuss it and not go into depth. But she spoke on it, and she, of course, stood by Juan. Nobody's expecting that she wouldn't, but she said something that I happen to agree with, and I'm okay with it, right? She said that the reason why his name was even spotlighted the way it was in the lawsuit is because of the fame that is attached to him. And I believe that. I think that is lawyer 101, right? If you have somebody who is not the direct person that you're going after, but they're adjacent to somebody who is famous and very popular, of course you're going to use that name to get people talking, to get attention, because a lot of these cases don't get attention because it's just happening with regular people. But cases move a lot faster when famous people are attached to it. So I do think that's what happened. And you know what? If that's what it takes to get this young man justice, then I'll allow it. So be it. But I do think, he still is a defendant within the case. But I do think that his name was used more than the an employee of his that assaulted that young man because of his fame. And now it's probably going to get the attention that it deserves. And it probably is going to either get that man a hefty settlement, or somebody's going to prison, or both. Either way, I'll allow it. I will allow it. It's unfortunate that Mia has lied so much on this show that, for me, I don't really trust or believe anything that she says. Because when the husbands come out and Gordon starts crying about what's going on, Mia's health issues or whatever, and he's like crying about that, there's something in me that just felt that they were manipulative tears, right? And it could just have been the real thing, but because everything about this couple has been such a lie and forced and put on for TV, there was something in me that was just like, Gordon, I don't know if I believe this. I don't know if I believe this. I don't know if you're fishing for sympathy because that you know that your wife is a liar. And even in the whole situation with him and Peter, or as Alexander Rogers say, Patricia Thomas Bailey, even in that, Peter was just like, your wife got you doing stuff and you're messing up all kinds of relationships. Like, she has you out here lying for her and backing up her lies for this TV show. You don't have to play the game like that. I played it for seasons and didn't have to do what you guys are doing. You're going all wrong. So with that ringing in my ear, Mia's lying performance this season, I just could not fully trust Gordon's tears. I just couldn't. It just felt a tad bit manipulative. So unfortunately, Mia, you just lied so much. Since the husbands are out there, let's speak about Chris. Did he have a lot of bass in his voice? Yes. Was it justified? Yes. Were the optics of it not great because of the show that he had the bass on? Yes. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to police how that man feels. about somebody using a fictional storyline that alludes to possible sexual assault, because in today's day and age, that could absolutely ruin him. I absolutely believe that family and friends and coworkers were asking him if this was true. I absolutely believe that he lost opportunities because of this storyline that Giselle put out against him, because nobody wants to be associated with somebody who has those kind of claims because of the pressure now being put on industries, companies, celebrities, people who were in the forefront, politicians, because now, women are speaking up and getting a voice and saying sexual assault is not okay, sexual harassment is not okay, this is what happens to me. And women are linking together and creating movements where it's now holding men and the women who protect them, holding men who assault women and the women who protect them accountable, right? So this is a very, very difficult time for sexual assaulters, for men who choose to oppress and attack women. So to allude that he could be one of them, I absolutely believe that he suffered damages for that, because of this storyline. It happens out here in Hollywood all the time. It happens out here all the time. I will never forget somebody that I was working with. An accusation was put out against him. It was later proven that the accusation was from, an ex-girlfriend who was mad that he had moved on for whatever reason. She came out and apologized or whatever. But at the end of the day, the damage was done. He lost everything. He lost everything, and he was about to take off. And even though she apologized, right? Even though, she said that she was suffering with some issues and that made her react in a certain way, the damage was already done. Because nobody would want it to be associated with somebody like that, even if it was just an allegation. So I believe Chris. I absolutely believe that he lost opportunities because of it, and that's what makes what Giselle did even more vicious, even more just like evil and diabolical. When she had such a great storyline that would have been a redemption storyline for her had she just talked about what was going on with her. It's unfortunate. So that I feel like his anger was righteous anger. I felt like the anger that he had was completely understandable. Again, I feel like the optics just didn't work well for him, but the rage, the anger from him and his wife, completely understandable in today's time. I get it, and I believe everything that he said. Let's get into the gutter snipe comment, right? Because Candiace clocked all the way in. And it was so boggling to me how some people were talking about like how she said certain things and how she like jumped in and defended him, and that she was doing too much. And I'm just like, if that were your husband, if there was somebody that you loved, you would do the same thing. Again, she constantly gets gaslit, and it's mind-boggling to me. But I'm just like, I felt like she could have been more angry, in my opinion, right? Because at the end of the day, although Chris showed some anger towards Giselle, he's still a man and he still can't get with her the way he wants to, right? Or with desire. The wife can. And I felt like she could have went farther. I probably would have had it been me, right? So I was here for everything that she said. Let's get to this white adjacent and white, behind comment that everybody like was up in arms about. You might not have been okay with how she said it, the base she used, or the words that she used to say it, but you can't say that she wasn't right. You can't say that she wasn't right. She was absolutely right. And then when Wendy did not agree with her, I felt like Wendy completely missed the mark. If she was doing it to get Candace to clear it up, fine, but I felt like she completely missed the mark, and her voice was not needed in that moment. Because if you are using your voice to speak upon colorism as a dark-skinned woman who experienced, not just in the United States of America, colorism, you also experience xenophobia, and to sit there and be an emotional butler for white people, shout out to Van Lathan, just it didn't sit right with me. To white people or white people who are watching and white adjacent people who were on that stage with you, I just could not get with it. I could not get with it. Wendy, I totally disagree with you. I felt like you were wrong in that moment, but some of you are saying that she did that so that Candace could clarify what she said. And I feel like clarify means say it in a way that the people who are responsible for the actions will not feel called out or held accountable. And I don't think that that's right. I think if you are wrong, it doesn't matter how the person who responds to the wrongdoing of you, how they respond should not be policed. If they take it slightly, if they, do the most, as some people says, I don't care, right? Because they're reacting to what you did. So let's stop harboring on the reaction and let's deal with the action. And this happens so many times, especially when it is somebody dark or somebody from a marginalized community. Everybody harbors on how they reacted. Nobody harbors on what they are reacting to, and the aggressor is always able to play victim. So it's not that, oh, she's not white adjacent and oh, Giselle doesn't have light skin privilege. It's the way that Candace said it. Who cares how she said it? She was right. She was right. Light skinned women like Giselle are able to use their voice as a weapon against people of a darker complexion. Yes, Giselle was saying these things about a white man, right? But she knows, even as a light-skinned person, white adjacent, Black person, she knows how far her words can travel, because Candace could have said the same thing about Michael Darby. And even though we have all these accusations about Michael Darby, nobody would have believed her because of the deepness of her melanin. And that's what Candace cleared up when Wendy gave her the floor to clear up what she said, which in my opinion, she didn't have to do. I think what she said was what she said and everybody got it. They just wanted her to say it in a nicer way so that they could receive her, which is why everybody was able to receive the wrongdoing that she was receiving from this group, because she didn't say anything, because she was quiet, because she took everything in slight, right? Because she went the Martin Luther King way and not the Malcolm X way, right? But here's the thing about that, marginalized people, no matter how you say it, you will still continue to be gaslit and oppressed. So you might as well get your lick back. You might as well get your lick back, because you can say it nice. You will still continue to be oppressed. You will still continue to be gaslit, right? Because at the end of the day, Martin Luther King, God rest his beautiful soul, was all about peacefulness. And they violently took his life. So it does not matter. It does not matter how you say it. They will still gaslight you and they will still oppress you. Because even in this moment where everybody is acting like Giselle is a victim, I'm like, the colorism is clear as day right here. Candace rightfully dragged this woman who lied on her husband, such a vicious lie this season, and they lost. There was a loss that came from that lie, right? Rightfully defended him. And what did everybody on that stage do? Oh my gosh, don't say that about her. Oh, no, you don't have to say that. Oh, wait, you're doing, no, this isn't right. You shouldn't speak to her like that. But was very quiet when Giselle was sitting there backtracking everything that she said and apologizing. Everybody overlooked the fact that this woman apologized about what she said about him, because all the receipts were starting to add up and there was nothing that she could do. So she just said, well, I'm sorry. Like, throw it away. So let's move on, right? Because you were caught. And you thought that everybody would believe you because that's how it normally goes for you. And that's exactly what Candace was saying. But at the end of the day, still a victim of colorism, because nobody came to her defense, not even the darkest sister on the stage. Woo! That white supremacy is something else. It's the best thing the white people ever did. I'm going to give them that. I'ma give them that. Say what you want about them. Say what you want about England. That small island of white people, the work that they was able to do on the globe, iconic. Say what you want. It's genius. It is genius. Black and brown people are the majority of humans on this globe, in this planet. You would never know it. You would never know it. Iconic. You gotta give it to them. You gotta give it to them. They won this round. They won this round. White people are not even on this cast, but they are controlling every freaking move. Iconic. Ashley, Megamind and the Bob, it would have been better for you to just shut up. It would have been better because you were doing so well when you acknowledged your privilege, but then to sit there and be like, oh my goodness, the same thing that you don't want Giselle to do to you, you're doing to her. Reverse colorism doesn't exist. You should have just shut up. You should have just shut up and swung that bob. You should have just shut up. Everybody was off you. Everybody was off you. But here you go trying to make Giselle the victim. For what? For what? No, Candace, that's not right. You kidding? She could have done more. She could have done more. Y'all lucky y'all got just that. Ciao. Let me see what else I have to say. You know, I did want to talk about this. Spice and Sauce brought it up as well, but I did see it coming up a lot on Twitter where there were a few, not a lot, saying that Candace really could not speak on colorism because one, she's married to somebody white, and two, she's going to have a light-skinned child. Here's what I want to say about that. The obsession and fetishization, I can never say this word, of biracial people, especially when one partner is white and one partner is black, it's at a sickening level at this point, right? Because when you say biracial, a lot of people are expecting or desiring a Meghan Markle, right? You're expecting a child who has black genes, who you hope has a desire to help Black people because they are part Black, but also is able to be unclockable by those who are in power, and that is white people, right? So you're desiring that child. What happens to a lot of people who don't get that kind of child is colorism to the child that actually comes, right? Because you're expecting the child to look a certain way. And when that child doesn't look a certain way, all of a sudden they get a crash course in the Black experience while having a white parent. And everybody thinks, not everybody, but a lot of people think that a biracial child is going to look like, a Meghan Markle or with just a bit more of a tan. When actually there are a lot of biracial people who look like me. There is this girl on TikTok who has to show her white daddy every few videos because nobody believes it. But then you see this father, she looked just like him with dark skin. She looks just like that man in the lace front with dark skin. But what I love about her page is that she talks about her experience because her parents thought she was going to look another way. And because she didn't look that way, she was treated a certain way. And then she gets a certain treatment that her white, family members, our white siblings, our white passing siblings do not get. There was also many moons ago, there was this viral story about these twins, these biracial twins. One came out Black, right, with the Black phenotype, and another one came out with the white phenotype. And I saw Where Are They Now? These two twins was in the womb at the same time, have a completely different life because of how they look. And the twin that passes for white was very aware that her sister has had a much harder life in her family and outside of her family because of what she looks like. So a lot of people saying that she can't have this conversation because of what her child is going to look like. That's a bias right there because you do not know. You do not know what that child is going to look like. You have no idea, but in your mind, you're thinking that it's going to be this fair-skinned child with loose curls, if curls at all, with light. You have no idea. You don't know what genetics Chris got, right? You don't know if he's, third generation white. He might have some black lineage that link up with Candace lineage, and you get Harriet freaking Tubman. You do not know that, right? So one, the argument is dead right there, because you're thinking about a certain child that she's going to have when you do not know that that's the truth. You're also saying that this woman having a white husband disregards her experience as a dark-skinned black woman. That is not the case. I think that people often look at the reaction and not the reason behind the reaction, because everybody is saying that she can't, a lot of people are saying that she can't speak on colorism because she has a white husband, but nobody's speaking on why this dark-skinned black woman was available in the first place. Y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all don't want to talk about desirable versus the undesirables. We don't want to have that conversation, but we want to drag the dark-skinned black woman or the black woman in general for finding love with somebody white, or somebody non-black in general, but especially a white person, because it stings just that much within this community. She can still talk about colorism because she experiences it. You know what I mean? Her husband may not experience, of course, because he's white. Her kids, the light-skinned kids that y'all think she's going to have, may not experience it, but she will still experience it. And just because she experiences colorism does not, or that she's dark-skinned, does not mean that she should not be loved. That's why I always say, black women, especially dark-skinned black women, love who loves you. You are worthy of love, no matter what your partner looks like. I absolutely think that she has a voice, because if we go on and say that you cannot have a voice on your own experience because your partner does not look like you or has a lighter melanin, then we are going to then have to say that you can't speak for this person because this person is you can't stand up for this person because this person has this experience, although you have the same experience. But because you think that me being with them erases everything that I endure as a singular person, it's just a dangerous place to be in. It's a very dangerous place to be in. She experiences colorism, so she can speak on it, no matter who she loves or lays with, or whatever children that everybody is putting together, on Facetune saying that she's going to have. She's still going to be valid in her and what she speaks on concerning colorism, because it's something that she endures every day. Like, it doesn't take her experience away. Also, jumping right back to the tag team that Chris and Candace had on Giselle. Did you notice that Robin was quiet? Robin normally backs up. She bites back, she barks, she does whatever she can to protect her owner. But Giselle ain't have her on the leash at this reunion. Robin was quiet when Chris and Candiace was getting Giselle together. She sat there and she was like, "Oh," her eyes said everything. And I was surprised that she sat there and let her take those lashes, because normally she jumps right in. But she was so quiet. And I feel like she was quiet because she knew that they were right. She knew that they were right. Any other time, Robin would have jumped in. She didn't this time because she knew that they were right. Let's get off of colorism and talk about this. These housewife shows are very weird, right? They go on a girls' trip and everybody just sleeps with each other or does something completely sexual. And I'm just like, this is not normal of a girlfriends group, right? Unless, is everybody lipstick lesbian? I don't, I just don't understand, because I'm like, a lot of girl groups don't go on girls' trips and get drunk and have sex with each other. So this whole thing about, oh, we were showing each other's coochie, and Wendy is like, everybody said that I had the prettiest coochie. I'm just like, this is weird, y'all. This may be normal for housewife world, but this is just not, I don't feel like this is a normal occurrence for a girls' trip. But the only reason why I brought that up is because Gordon, Mr. G, when they were talking about, everybody looking at everybody's coochie, Gordon was just like, well, did production see the coochies? And he did not say it in a way of like being alarmed that these women's vaginas were filmed. He said it in a way as if he wanted the footage. Did production, did they take pictures of the, did they have video footage of the coochies? Did they film the coochies? Why, Gordon? Because you want the footage. Oh, he just leans into the creepy old man trope so easily. So easily. I have two more things to say, and then we would jump into other comments. The extended interview with Robin did not tell us anything new. I don't feel like it was needed. I felt like if you watch What Happens Live, then you got all of this. Then you heard everything that was to be said about the situation. I didn't feel like it gave me any new insight. It just, I felt like it wasn't needed, in my opinion. Also, I watched the Watch What Happens Live after that. Here is what I will say. I feel like Karen got the word, if not from the fans, from production, that this show needs to get back to the joy and the fun, because she was even saying that she's going to lead out next season in a fun way. She was saying that the girls need me to get everybody together to start having fun again. So she's going to put herself in this grand dame role that nobody respects, but she's going to put herself in that role and try to lead out and let the ladies have a good time, while also on the sidelines dragging Robin. So I don't know how this is going to work, but the grand dame is saying that we should expect more fun from next season, because that is going to be her mission, to make sure the ladies all have a good time. So I'm hoping that's the case. This has absolutely nothing to do with the Real Housewives of Potomac, and everything to do with Watch What Happens Live. Andy, Lanithia Cohen, why was Telfar Clemens behind the bar? He doesn't need the exposure. He should have been a guest. That was so weird to me that he was behind the bar and said like 2 words. I'm like, this is Telfar Clemens, the guy who sells out his bag every time in any color. Every time he makes them available. You kidding me? He should have been a guest. It was very weird that he was behind the bar. That was very weird to me. Having said all that to say, I think Karen did a great job. Larsa was also there, and the Jordan boy was also there. Like I said before in my Real Housewives of Miami review, I think that Larsa is Black China 2.0. I think that she is a woman that men, specifically Black men, will link themselves up with when they want the paparazzi attention, right? When they want that kind of quick overnight fame that having a prestigious lineage would not get them, right? So it's just like when them trust fund babies all of a sudden start hanging out with trashy starlets, you know what I mean, or bad boys. It's because they desire that immediate attention that will get your face plastered on TMZ. I'm not saying that, Jordan Jr. would not have does not or would not have attention, because his father is Michael Jordan, right? But there's a certain kind of attention that men that go after a Blac Chyna or a Larsa desire. And it's a quick TMZ kind of, where everybody instantly knows your name kind of attention. And that's what I think is happening there. That's all that I wanted to say. What do you guys think? Let's get into it. Love Like You Are said, well, not all mixed people are light skinned. So for people to assume that is kind of crazy to me. Absolutely. Absolutely. Jenny said they can predict her child's skin color. They have a time machine. That's what people are saying. You're going to have light skinned kids. And I'm just like, we don't know this. We do not know this. Hey, Will. Will said, if Andy can bring a relevant Shar, we can get Katie or Candice a fashion friend. Bravo can have Countess Luann with the addiction problems. Katie is more talented. Here is why I think that Katie will not be on the Real Housewives of Potomac for a very long time. And here's why I'm okay with that. Everybody was sending me the stuff that Katie was saying about her and Charisse having sex or whatever, and her wanting to sue Charisse for selling it to the blogs. Although I believe everything that this woman is saying, just a quick scroll of her Twitter, you can see that something is not quite right. Something is not quite right. And I think it is very smart for the Bravo execs to not entertain bringing this woman who does not seem mentally healthy to come into an environment that will require her to have healthy mental health, for her mental health to be intact. So I know a lot of people are, asking for her to come back. I just don't think she's in a place to come back. And I think it would be wise for everybody to not engage with someone who looks like they might be spiraling. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate, because she was a stellar housewife on the show, but she just does not seem to be well. Not seem to be well. And I think the Bravo's execs know that. And I think that they just will not. I just think that they won't entertain that. They will not entertain that. And for good reason. Love Like You Are said, I feel like Robin saying that Juan being spotlighted because what was nasty, because she called it clickbait. That she used the wrong language, in my opinion, of the wrong word. That translated to me that she thinks that the kid was lying. Yes, I do agree. She used an entirely wrong word to describe that. I agree. Give Me Shelter says, so true, Nikki. Crystal and Rob Meekoff just got hit with a lawsuit because of a car accident her brother was in. Yeah, like that's what lawyers do to get attention to their case. And you do that because you hope that people will just settle instead of keeping their name in the media in a negative spotlight. NC said, Andy thought he was doing something by gassing up his casting of Charisse, when in actuality, all he really did is out that he and production brought her back to get Karen activated. Sloppy. He said that it might look like that, but that's not why we brought her back. Then I'm like, then why did you guys bring her back? None of us, she had no storyline. We did not learn anything about her. She just came on talking about Karen. And I think that Karen doesn't believe that he just brought her back because he thinks that she's a great housewife. Because even Karen said to him, I forgive you, Andy, because she knows what it is. She knows what it is. Manti said, but to call it clickbait is incorrect because he is the head coach and is directly involved. She diminished his role in the situation. Absolutely. Absolutely. George said, Candace needs to show us tour life and she'll be cameoing on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Then she should leave Potomac. I agree. At some point, she just needs to get off that show. Simply Simone said her dropping the clickbait line was not a good move. That just made her sound ignorant about the allegations. I think she's ignorant about a lot of things, though. I think she's ignorant about a lot of things. I don't think this is an act. I just think it's natural dumb blonde. Spice and Saul said, based on what I read, Juan went through the proper chain of command and they chose not to act. I don't think anything will happen to Juan. It just seemed the school is responsible, not him. Absolutely, the school is responsible. Absolutely. Juan was named because the young man went to him, and then, not much was done after that. So that's why he was named, and also because he hired the man that assaulted the young man. But I don't think that he will be liable. I think the school will be liable. If anything, this case was put out with Juan's name being the main factor to, get the school to settle quickly. That's what I think. Taina said that this idea that we as women can't be spoken to loudly like we're fragile is insulting. She's evil. She can handle it. I agree, right? I'm just talking about the optics on the show. I agree that the optics it wasn't a good look, but I'm not going to police his anger towards those vile allegations. Priscilla said, and nowadays, once a rumor is told about a celebrity or Bravo celebrity, many people will go ahead and run with it without checking for facts, even if the person is innocent. Very dangerous times we are in. Absolutely. And I'm going to review this later in the day, but, I'm going to review it in half an hour. But rumors can absolutely ruin a person, even if it's not true. I'm telling you, episode 1 of this Xscape show, by the time I got to the middle of the episode, I said to myself, Candy was never the problem. It was Tasha. But back in the day, if you was following the mess from, what were those magazines? Remember those magazines that we used to get? They had like all the entertainment tea and stuff, like posters of, your favorite Black celebrities. in those magazines, and a word on the street was that Candy was the issue. 10 to 15 minutes into the first episode of Xscape and SWV, you're like, oh, nope, Candy wasn't, right? But that rumor went on for so long, even though it had no truth to it, because it was just put out there. This was able to just get legs about this woman. And finally, in her mid to late 40s, she finally is vindicated. How awful is that? How awful is that? Miss Brown Sugar said, I was disgusted that the rest of the women were completely silent regarding Giselle's recklessness, especially when she doubled down on making it about made her uncomfortable. Yep. Asatu said, instead of accepting Giselle's weak apology, he could have sued her for defamation. But that doesn't really work in the Bravo universe. It like this Michael Darby's a lawsuit against Candace won't really go anywhere. You can't really sue talent, because at the end of the day, if you're going to sue each other, you're going to have to sue NBC, and you're not going to win in a court of law against NBC. You don't have the coin, and you don't have the range. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I think it's just better for him to move on, unfortunately. I think it's just better for him to move on. Well, see, JP Reddy, she will be believed. She has the look to be believed. Like, Karens have lied on multiple people since the beginning of time. And even though they have been proven to lie again, they will always be believed. She'll be fine. She'll be fine. She'll be fine. That's when she jumped in. She jumped in when he got upset, and she realized that she was going to have to jump in and take over the anger, right? Even though she is a dark-skinned Black woman, she is a woman, and it just would not have looked good. Even though her husband's rage was righteous rage, it would not have looked good. Let me get Teresa T, what's up? Say Candace was 100% correct in her approach. Everyone tone policing is irking my soul. And Ashley, please shut up. Reverse colorism is not a thing. Wendy, not in front of mixed company. Miss T said, wish Wendy would have supported Candace. Me too. Hey, Kayla. Kayla said, I cannot believe I'm still at work and missing this live. Give me back my work-life balance. It's okay to be a part of the replay gang. Give Me Shelter said, people always want to police Candace comments, but say they understand someone acting out with violence due to stress. More people need to journal and read their own nonsense page by page. Absolutely. Asatu said, Wendy completely dropped the ball and was caping for the same woman who says she did not care about her feeling violated because she doesn't like her. I don't think she did it because she was caping for Giselle. I think she did it because she was caping for approval from the audience, right? Potomac, ever since Monique assaulted Candace, has received a very large white audience. And I think that she was caping for that, because at the end of the day, she doesn't want to kill any opportunities that may come from this show, right? She still wants to look like the safe Black person at the end of the day. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with the replay gang, Drewski. Priscilla said, asking somebody to modify their response to your wrongdoing is so manipulative, extremely manipulative. Budget Weight said, I don't understand some people's outcry about what Candace said. When some people say calling Robin a white woman, and let's not forget that Ashley is white identified. Oh, does she identify as white? I thought she identified as Black. Or are you saying that she's unclockable? George said, I think what needed to be added to Candace's talking about colorism at this point in the reunion is that all the women who made these allegations against Chris looked the complete opposite to Candace. You're right. You are right. Jassy said, Wendy has always spoke on colorism. She brought it to the show. Her first season, and the audience hated her for it. So I'm gonna need people to lay off her a bit. Yeah. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, they're at work, guys. They're at work. They're not going to have the colorism conversation that we are going to have. outside of our jobs. These ladies are at work. So although I was disappointed in Wendy, I ain't mad at her. She's at work. She's talking about colorism in a way that is work appropriate. She probably had a whole different conversation in her car with her husband. Goddess Godzoiva said, but their response validated Candace's point. Yes, Candace says something passionate and harsh, even though it's true. She is corrected and attacked. Talk about it. If Giselle said that to Candace, it would be dead silence. Absolutely. Absolutely. Nasby said all of them saying too far like it was a damn chorus, deflecting and gaslighting like it was their job. You hate to see it. Yep. And a lot of them, the women who were defending her, got dark children, dark daughters. My heart goes out to every dark-skinned girl with a white adjacent mom who continues to deny your experience because she didn't go through that. Yikes. Yikes. Hey, Spency. Spency said, I'm so tired of the reverse colorism. Like, be for real, honey. Preach it, Nikki. Thank you. Perfect example. Matt James, the first Black Bachelor. They didn't say first biracial. The first biracial. They said biracial boy. They said first Black Bachelor. Why? Because you don't look at him and you don't look at him and see white. You would never look at that man and think that he has a white mom. Now, when he opens his mouth, you'll be like, oh, okay, there it is. But you would never look at that man and think that any parent is not Black. Now, if Candace has a bunch of Matt James, what y'all gonna say then? What y'all gonna say then? Nothing. Spice and Sauce said, oh, I'm not saying she can't speak on colorism because she married a white. I'm saying it doesn't land because her husband is a direct contributor and beneficiary of white supremacy. Spice and Sauce, I absolutely understand what you meant. You didn't have to clarify, but thank you. Thank you for the clarification, sis. Obi said, I know she's your fave, but while we are reprimanding Rob, Gizzard, and no alimony, Ashley, let's talk about how Karen was low-key unneeded in this reunion. Yeah, she was. I don't think she needed to sit in the front seat. She didn't say much. NC said, I'm proud that Candace doubled down when foolishly Wendy interjected. Wendy has been disappointing me all season, but last night took my disappointment to another level. Oh, she's at work, y'all. Janice said, even if their kid is light, that has no bearing on Candace's experience. Absolutely. Oh, you remember that? Right after saying that one sister appeared white. Good on her. Letting her know. See, those are the simple things, but it's letting that girl know that you're going to be over here, not your sister, but you're going to be over here. Like if you could look them up, if you guys, I don't know you will, but if you ever look them up, two totally different experiences. Look at their friends group, look at their friend group, look at their partners. Ciao. Elizabeth said, Nikki, you should be a talk show host. You have a gift. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. Nasby said, the ancestors sometimes make that melanin stretch. Okay, throwback genes are a thing. You never know how them kids are going to come out. Thandie Newton's daughter on The Last of Us, if you watch that show on HBO, it's a great show. That girl is 25% Black. Her daddy is white. Her granddad is white. But baby, that hair said, I'm here. That hair said, I'm a nigger. Like, you never know. I'm telling you, you cannot petri dish them babies. You never know how they are going to turn out. That's what it is. I was trying to think of who they think that just because you are a white, you are a white and Black couple, you're not going to get Zendayas. Everybody thinks they're going to get a Zendaya or Lauren London. No, but and sometimes even if you do, you don't know how that kid is going to identify. A lot of people are just finding out that Lauren London's father is white. You never know. I'm telling you, you never know. Yes, because they deny their experience because they do not want to acknowledge their privilege. Because an acknowledgement of privilege means that change has to happen. And a lot of people don't want to do that. A lot of people do not want to do that. Asatu said, one of my close cousins had a biracial child who looked completely white, except that she had 4C hair. My cousin, she married a South Asian man. They have 2 kids. Them kids is black. You would never know. Them kids is black. You don't see none of their daddy, only in the eyebrows. That's it. You just never know. You just never know how them kids are going to turn out. Ever. Harriet Tubman didn't take no stuff. That's my girl. Didn't come in this world to be no slave, and she wasn't going to stay one neither. Hey, Elise said Candace has been a black woman for 35 years. She knows how awful colorism is. Yeah. And also, she's been a black woman of privilege. Right? So if she's telling you what it is, know this. She knows exactly what she's talking about because she's been in privileged spaces and still had the same experience as me because of this. Budget Weight says some people just adapt to the spirit of stupid when it comes to their hate for Candace. It happens. Hey, Ramada. Kit from Matt James's season. Oh, child, I done got a Bachelor notification. I'm like, what is that? Ramada said Candace is fake about getting pregnant from her husband. She's playing her cards right, fact, to get a higher paycheck. You think they will pay her money for getting pregnant? Give her a higher paycheck for getting pregnant? We'll see. We will see. Let me get some comments I haven't called on yet. Monique said, I think that Robin really did not agree with Giselle's tactics for the season. However, it still benefited her. So whatever. I think so too. This was the first time I've ever saw Robin be quiet when when somebody's coming for Giselle. You know what? I take that back. She was very quiet with Monique when she was coming after Giselle. And I don't think it's because she thought that Monique was right. I think she was afraid of what Monique had in that binder about her. So she shut up. She shut up, as she should have. I'm Awake said no one would ever say a black woman married to a black man married to a white woman can't speak in their black experience. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I will say this. They will say, leave her at home. Leave her home because Jonathan Majors, he brought his white baby mom to one event. She ain't been at nothing since then. Y'all was like, absolutely not. That poor girl. I would have told Jonathan, no, I'm going, and I'm bringing our baby. Asatu said Robin was quiet when Chris dragged Giselle because she supports her. Okay. Hey, Vaca said Robin was quiet and her facial expressions looked like she agreed with every word against Giselle. I agree. Marvina said, my father-in-law was so amazed his grandbabies, his twin grandbabies, one white with red hair, the other looked like his son. We laughed because he was amazed. Yeah, you just never know. Especially when the mother is black, them kids can come out any kind of way. You just never know. You just never know. Simply Simone said, it's going to be weird to watch the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip with Giselle and Candace this season because, oh, really? Oh, and they were friends. They were friends then. I had no idea. No idea. Ciao. Budget Weight said, yeah, it's really not. I'll stick to traveling with myself or with 2 people. Just give me a Jack and a Coke and a large soaking tub and a nice comfortable bed and TV, and I'm cool with the whole trip. What are we talking about? Because it took me a minute to realize you was talking about a drink. Aya said, I think the problem is Candace brought the kitchen table talk to the public. The goal is to never make the white person Giselle uncomfortable or apologize because that's when they lose power. Facts are facts. Courtney said, what Candace went through is what worries me. My boyfriend is white, but for 30 years, I've been Black, and that does not take away from my experience. And I never want it discounted because my man is white. Oh, they'll absolutely come for you because you're a Black woman. People will absolutely tell you that you can't say what you want to say, but we'll never say that to a Black man. And that's another privilege, right? That's another privilege. Black men can date whoever they want, not Black women. Not Black women. Dr. M said, apparently Mia is sending out cease and desist to people. Are you going to start with Carlos? I bet you won't. I bet you won't. Dahlia said, I got emotional whiplash from this reunion. How do we go from colorism to coochies? I will say I feel like a lot was cut out because they were there for like 9 hours. 9 hours. I'm Awake said, yes, next season needs to bring luxury trips, galas, shopping excursions, etc. Bring in the fun. I hope so. I hope Bravo sits all of these housewife shows down and make them watch and take notes from the Real Housewives of Miami. That's how they have to do the seasons from here on out. The Real Housewives of Miami set the bar. Set the bar. If they don't perform like that, get them out of here. Yeah, she's absolutely letting Bravo know where she stands. She will lead. She will do what she needs to do. Zena said maybe Telfar didn't want to be a guest. I hope that was it. I hope that was it. Absolutely, because nobody was talking about Jordan Jr. Nobody. But now he's in the hip hop magazines. Now he's on the Shade Room. You know, giving him an identity outside of his father through Larsa. So, SW Stars Entertainment said they must leave sexual assault storylines alone. It's clear that Giselle saw this as a regular housewife storyline. Candy was gaslit to let it go for the show, but it was a dark storyline that went in her reality. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. I think what the smart thing to do, Miss Brown Sugar, is for them to come back like that season didn't happen. Come back like that season didn't happen. That's the best thing for them to do. Pauline said, hey, everyone, work got me tired. We'll catch the replay. Just wanted to drop in. Take care. Thank you, Pauline. Thank you for being here. Visual Taste, thank you for the super chat. Visual Taste said, hey, Nikki, so happy I caught a live on my birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Visual Taste by America. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, sis. Thank you so much for the super chat. Yasmin said, as a Black woman married to a white man, I am very confused as to how Candace being married to a white man changes Candace's experience in the world. It doesn't. It's just a dig. It's just a dig. Tracy, thank you so much. Tracy said, Star fan, please like the video. It helps the channel grow. We're looking to get to 175K by the summer. It's the winter. We can do it. We got rid of all things are possible. Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't think she's okay. God bless her. God bless her. Dahlia said, all these women, including Charisse, outed themselves as liar. Why tune into this reality show when there's little to no reality? Because at the end of the day, reality is not it's not the selling point. It's entertainment, right? If your reality is funny, it will absolutely be filmed. But these ladies are just not funny and entertaining 24/7. You got to make something. Listen, the text messages that were leaked of Mia talking to Jacqueline's niece about trying to get in contact with her for next season, everything that Mia said in those text messages were true. She was just like, if we don't have anything going on and that means drama, then they're not going to ask us back. So we got to keep something going. I love Jacqueline, but this was just for the show. I feel like the only place that Mia went wrong was not involving Jacqueline in the scheme. Like, you're throwing these shots at her on camera and she doesn't know what you're talking about. But she was absolutely right. Like, I'm trying to get some stuff together and I'm trying to get her a spot on the show, but she just has to be okay to go along with the schemes that I'm scamming. If she would have did that in the beginning, we wouldn't be here with Mia, right? So that's the thing. It's like you gotta have something to talk about, which is why a lot of people recreate stuff that has happened when the cameras weren't there or years prior. They recreate storylines. Like some people who are living through their husband cheating storylines that weren't recent are reliving them on the show to have a storyline to be relatable. That happens all the time. It's at the end of the day, it's TV. It's entertainment. We are tuning in to be entertained. This is not Big Brother, hidden cam where we're watching on our TVs on our laptops where we're just watching the people in the home 24/7. This is reality TV. They film these ladies for 4 to 6 months, and they have to give us an interesting 1 hour episode every week. So you got to come on with something, and you don't. If you're just not interesting 24/7, you're going to fake something, and that's okay. Just as long as it's good and believable, we're good with it. We are good with it. Obi said on Katie, a quick scroll through her Twitter cannot be used to make that judgment if you're not actually engaging with her in person. Obi also said that no one should be making an assessment on if she's fit or unfit for the show currently. That's a problem with the media today. Once labeled, always labeled. Leave it to the professionals. I absolutely agree. But in my opinion, a quick scroll through her Twitter and through her Instagram, something is not right. Something is not right. And I'm saying that something is not right because there has been a huge change from when she was tweeting before. Recently, there is something happening. Something has shifted. And I'm not saying that the lady is doing whatever. Something has shifted on her Twitter and her Instagram that reads to me a little erratic. And I do not think she is in a place to film on this show right now. That is my opinion, and I'm not giving that up. Miss Brown Sugar said defamation suits are very hard. I think I might have acknowledged that I hurt her, but to reiterate that the irreparable damage has been done. Agreed. Yasmin said if you look at Candace's comment section on YouTube, people are now running with the idea that Chris did something because he yelled and because they are back mad at Candace. Rumors can be detrimental. Absolutely. Absolutely. A lie travels farther than the truth. Hey, sup, people? Sup, people said, remember that black football player that lost his scholarship because that white girl lied because she didn't want her dad to find out? Yep. And remember, I think a movie was made about him. That football player who the girl lied on him and said that he assaulted her and that he had years later, I guess they were in the same apartment complex and she cried to him and apologized to him for ruining his life. But I think he went to prison. He lost his scholarship and everything. And he recorded her. And when he recorded her, he took it to his lawyers or whatever, and they wanted to sue her for defamation. I'm not sure. I didn't watch the movie so fully or follow the story fully, so I'm not sure if he won the case, but I do know that he was in part vindicated. But at the end of the day, he was too old to get a scholarship back, and that NFL dream was taken from him. Like a lie travels farther than the truth, unfortunately. All right. Oof, child, y'all are in here talking. I'm trying to get everything because I got to get out of here and do my other live. Hey, Precious, thank you so much for the super chat. Precious said, new to your channel. Loving the content. Thank you, Precious A. Thank you for being here. Yes, her dad is Italian. She was like, a lot of people found out when she was doing the press junket for the movie that she had, You People, on Netflix. And she was saying that although this wasn't her personal experience, she can relate as a biracial person. And everybody was like, well, what? And then all of a sudden they started sharing pictures online of her dad. And I'm like, this is old tea, but y'all just assume. Yeah, she was talking about it. Will said, I had no idea that Katie had sexual stuff with Char. That is poor judgment, but also why did Bravo go up for Charisse? I have no idea. Unless they did want her to come for Karen, which is what it seems like. What did she provide for or this or any season? I'm sorry for supporting Katie's position. Oh, don't be. I mean, what I think I think that Katie is telling the truth. I also notice a change in behavior. on, because I didn't follow her, but I would check in on her Twitter, because she had, like, right after the show, she had some really great insight. And I always thought that she was good for the show, but I felt like she just needed to be sober a bit longer before she's thrown into such a chaotic environment. But from what I have seen now to what I used to see, what her, social media feeds used to look like, something has changed. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Kay said, on the topic of colorism, I used to hate going out with my light-skinned friend because men would always look at her and first and give me attention last when they liked my personality or something. Yeah, we got to be exceptional in our community and outside of our community. Yes. Yep. Tamara's children. Absolutely. And those kids are more, white than black, if we want to add it up like that, although that doesn't make that's not really a thing. But if you want to add it up, the kids are technically white in American standards, but they are going to have a black or biracial experience. Who's another one? Eartha Kitt. Have you seen her grandkids? Have you seen Eartha Kitt's grandkids? One, everybody thinks this girl is lying. Everybody thinks this girl is lying. But the other one, you believe him. He looked just like her. He looks just like her. Somebody, the comments are going so fast, but I do agree that I want Ascala to come back. Asatu said, South Asian men are darker anyways, depend on there. I know a lady whose father was Arabic and my mother was half Indian. The girl looks completely Indian. Yeah, you just never know. You never know how genetics are going to work out. You never know. Like, there are people in my family, hella light. And sometimes it looks a little weird because everybody is here. We all is. And then you see them and you're just like, what gene? What gene pool did you come out of? Because everybody looks like us, but it's like 5 of them that are just hella light hair, light eyes, light eyebrows, light lashes. And we just don't know where them people came from. But they're our cousins. They're our aunties. Listen, we don't even talk about the Usos. Roman Reigns. He liked this side of the street. Ciao. But he's in a loving relationship with the sister, so I'm gonna let it go. AI said, I never understood Black women who cared about what others think about who you date. Your happiness is your own, and making yourself miserable for others is self-sabotage. Absolutely. Love who love you and live your best life. Love who love you and live your best life. All right, because my live should be starting now. So Momi, and then one more, and I gotta go. Momi said, I guess Mia didn't give Jacqueline a heads up. She didn't, because she might have wanted a genuine reaction and thought her friend would fall in line. And that's what Jacqueline said. She wanted me to fall in line, but it backfired because Jacqueline wasn't having it. Absolutely. Birdie B said, I didn't watch this season, so I have no problem not watching the next. I don't find the show entertaining anymore, and it sucks. And that's a shame, because this is a really good show. Or I think they have something great here, but unfortunately, Asatu said Tamara's son won't have a Black experience as he is completely white, and her daughter looks mixed. She almost looks indigenous. She won't have the Black experience neither. Neither one of them will, but they won't have the experience of their father. And let's be real, guys. The jury is still out. Them kids are going to get older. Things shift. Things change. That's the thing. You just don't know. You don't know. We're going to end here with So-So Steph. So-So Steph said, I have a pop-up that popped out as ginger with freckles. Her mama, who was a pop? Are you saying a cousin or a family member? I'll read it like this. I have a family member that popped out as a ginger with freckles. Her mama and daddy just brown skin. The genes reach back. You just never know. You never know where them genes are going to read. Anyway, guys, I'm late for my SWV live, so let me get out of here. Love you all. Thank you for joining me. Listen, we could go on and on and on about this subject, but I'm glad that this show is over, so now we can just rest and have a good time. Thank you so much for joining me. Please remember to like this video, share if you care, subscribe if you want more content like this, and meet me over in just a few minutes in the SWV and Xscape episode 1 live recap. Love you all so much. We're going to get through this. Yes, we are. I believe in us. Love y'all. See you soon. Bye. Mwah. Oh, thank God this season is over. We can go back to being